The other day I just got through installing a new top and tilt on my tractor, and so I just wanted to take a few minutes and explain to you how I did that. I built this system. I just bought all the pieces. I got them from Surplus City, most of them. I actually got the valve, came off of Amazon, I think. And I'll put some links in the description that'll help you link to some of these parts if you're interested. This is a Kubota MX4800. So, you know, there's several tractors that are made kind of on this same frame, but this would be kind of applicable to this. But I just kind of wanted to go through some of the design decisions that I made and those types of things to help you in case you were wanting to design one for yourself. Because if you buy the installed model, it can be pretty expensive. And this one, it's 5 valves. One of them just activates my top and tilt, and that's not removable. My tilt. My top link is removable. I can pop it off right here. So I've got my tilt and I've got 4 ports. And the reason I did that many is I wanted to be able to have my top and tilt, and then maybe somewhere down the road get me a grater blade that I can adjust the angle and the tilt and the up and down with it. So I would need 3 more valves in order to do that. So that's why I did 5 valves total. Now if you're wondering, this port right here, it's just for my post hole digger, and it allows me to, when I raise it up, it lets that cylinder just dump into the tank. Basically, it just routes it straight into the tank with no back pressure, so that it doesn't mess my post hole digger up when it raises up. And these, I just 3D printed these. I designed them in Fusion 360 and printed those. You can see the little handles that stuck out. They were in the way with this cylinder. Because what I do, I put this chain on here, and so when I'm not using the cylinder, I can raise it up to this point and then chain it in the up position like that, so I don't have to take it off when I'm moving between pieces of equipment or something like that. But when you raise it up, this fitting, I don't know if you can see that down there. When you raise it up, this fitting right here broke those off. So I'll just have to redesign those a little bit. My cylinders are, and you know, the way I designed it was I just looked at what's commercially available and kind of went from there. So these are 3-inch cylinders, and they've got 1.5-inch rods on them. And you just have to kind of measure and see how much length you need. So I measured to see, you know, my top length that I was using, how short I would ever want it and how long I would ever want it. And so that gives you how long of a stroke you need. Same thing with the tilt cylinder. This one's got 6 inches that it'll tilt. And my original length that I moved over to here, it only gave me 5. So it gives me 6 more inches in there. And I wanted to make sure, you know, that I wasn't moving it too much, because you could actually rack things out of shape here if your cylinder was moving things too far. So anyway, this cylinder, like I said, it's a 3-inch cylinder just like this one. It's got an 1.5-inch diameter rod, and it will move 6 inches. Now let me bring you over here and show you. All right, probably one of the most difficult considerations was you can't have any hoses right in this area, because this big cylinder and this attachment right here, it's going to ride up and down in that space right there, so you got to keep that clean as you're trying to route hoses from your valve over to all your outlets over here. So now let me take you around to the front, and I'll show you how this is right here. If you're wondering what this is an electrical outlet that I use to run a winch that I connect onto the back of this. Now, as you can see, to decide, you know, where to put that valve, that just happened to be the place that worked best for me to put it. And still be able to access it and get all my lines run and all that. And trying to figure out how long each line should be. I've got a video that I made that I'll put out there on an easy way to measure these hoses. I will admit to you, some of it's kind of a guess, and I had to repurchase like 3 of them in order to, because I got the sizes a little bit off. And in this configuration, they've got to be really close. Now these were all pre-made hoses. They're in 6-inch increments. So, you know, if you're having them custom made, which would be expensive, then you could get them a little bit closer. All right, so here's where my valve sits. And so when I'm sitting in the seat, I can reach back and activate them. That gets them out of the way of my lift arms here, and I can still activate my PTO down there. You can see you got quite a few hoses to try to route. Now the hoses for my top and tilt, I used 1/4-inch hoses so they'd be nice and flexible and smaller. And these are 1/2-inch hoses. I'm not sure if I'm happy with that or not. I probably could have used 3/8 and my routing would have been a lot easier because they wouldn't have been quite as big or stiff. But to try to get enough in here for 5 valves is really quite an endeavor to get all that in there. But I was able to do that. I used all JIC connections here into the valve, or SAE connections that you need to go into there. Let's see, this one is a return. I built a post hole digger, and if you look at that video, you'll see that I have to have, when I raise it up, I got to be able to just dump fluid straight into the tank. And so there's a connection on the back that allows for that, and it goes tees into here. This is the return to the tank. This is power beyond right here. And then back here is the connection where the hydraulic fluid actually comes in. Let me go around to the other side and I'll show you the hookups to the tractor itself. One thing I do have to change, I've got to add a shield right here. I was bush hogging the other day, and this power beyond connection right here gets really hot. I got a burn on my arm. Okay, so the fluid that goes into my that valve, the hydraulic fluid into the valve, comes off right here. This is my front end loader valve, and so the power beyond on it comes off here, and that runs straight back to the valve that runs all of my equipment on the back. Then the valve in the back, the power beyond port that comes out of it, I use it to run my third function arm, and that one comes back in and it goes in back here. Now your setup would probably be a little bit different than what I've got going here. And then you have to have one that just returns to the tank, and that tank connection actually it comes from above. It's right here, and it flows down and it connects behind. I made this plate. I got a video on how I made this plate in order to protect these, because I was afraid I'd hit them with a limb or something like that. But anyway, it connects back into the tank outlet, which is right behind that plate right there. Now this top and tilt cylinder, I bought the cylinder and I had to make the end on it down there, and I've got a video that shows how I did that. It's a separate video. I don't know if people will really be interested in it that much, so I made it a separate video. You can buy those, but they're quite a bit more expensive than what this cylinder was, and in the description I'll list out what some of the key components cost me on this and where you might be able to get a hold of them in case you're interested. Okay, so that's an overview of my rear hydraulics system that I installed and kind of how I designed it. I hope that's helpful to you. Might give you some ideas on a system that you want to do yourself. Hope this was helpful to you. Thank you for watching.